For me, cancer is a tremendous teacher. It has taken my life that was my life and has reworked it. And my sister went through cancer. There was a lot of coming together of family members. It brings people together, and it does teach you a lot.
And I really think that it's brought my family closer together. My siblings and I are just, it's just really cool to sit back and watch how something that could be fatal has turned around a family that was a little bit distant. And my brother and sister both thought I was going to die. They thought immediately. My daughter was the same, and I never felt like I was going to die. Just like with everything else in my life, I've been married and divorced a couple times and blah, blah, but never given up. Giving up wasn't an option.
The support of my husband and my children and my other family and friends, they've helped me cook, clean, bring gifts and things when I couldn't do for my own family. They helped pick up the chores around the house and all of those things. But I think that has helped me. If I didn't have that support, it would have been very hard to go it alone. There were days that I didn't even eat, and my daughter would say to my husband, she didn't eat much, she hardly drank any water. So I'm grateful to have those people looking out for me.
Yeah, my husband has been by my side nonstop. Every appointment, everything.
But my brother and sister and I'm the oldest, and we weren't really distant for any other reason other than Mom kind of kept us apart. She would like to, tell stories about each other and try to keep us apart. Well, lo and behold, cancer had a whole different idea and said, no, you're not winning this one. My sister is in Sacramento. My brother is here part of the year and in Washington part of the year with my sister-in-law. And they've been tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I'm seeing a part of my sister that I never knew existed. She's got such a big heart. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth, though. She's one of those family members where you're like, but what she's given to me from her heart and the encouragement, and my daughter, just incredible.
My husband was there for me for all of he waited in the waiting room outside due to COVID. He was outside waiting for me every single time, and just knowing that he was out there made me strong enough to get through every treatment, so I didn't have to go it alone. It was very difficult, and so having that support, my husband was there and took me to all my appointments, everything from biopsies to PET scans and MRIs. He was always there, so I appreciate his love and support.
My daughter told me the other day that no matter what the PET scan says, we'll get through this. My sister is telling me, you got this, I know you're a fighter. And I never really thought of myself as a fighter. I just was somebody who just wasn't going to take any crap and wasn't going to ever give up. And my brother's real tall. He's about 6'3", and he called me his pint-sized superhero because I'm real small compared to him. But those are things that I've never been called before. And I find it it's kind of warming, a little embarrassing. But because all I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing they would do, I truly believe. But they've been there. I know I don't hear from them every day, but I know I'm in their heart. And that if I needed to call them, they'd be there in a heartbeat. My dad too. My dad is the big cheerleader too. When I was staying with them, I had to stay with my parents for 6 weeks, and my dad's 88 and he's tough as nails, and every morning he'd go, how'd you sleep? I'd go, good, and he'd go. And he's pretty tall too, so he, kind of would cower down a little bit, and he'd give me that little thumbs up, and it just made my day.
And your friends, my friends were above and beyond. They brought me food, they did so much. They drove me to appointments, and just, reach out to people because they want to help and they want to do something to help you, and definitely let them. And you just don't know who your real friends are until something like this happens. Yeah, and I had people coming out of the woodwork that I hadn't talked to in years when they found out about it.
I'll give an analogy. If we take a look at the solar system and we consider ourselves the sun, the closest orbit is occupied by individuals that we trust with our lives and they trust with ours. With each subsequent orbit are people that we share life with but have less levels of intimacy. So by the time we get to the farthest orbit, it might be the person at the grocery store or the postal carrier. We're friendly, they're friendly, we don't know them, they don't know us. And what we find through the cancer experience is oftentimes character is revealed. And so we find that people who occupy the innermost orbit sometimes do not have the emotional sustainability to maintain that level of intimacy with us, and they move to another orbit. And sometimes people in the center of the solar system show that they have the emotional wherewithal to move closer to our center of intimacy. And this is a process that happens through the crisis of cancer. Many people believe that if people cannot live up to a patient's expectation, that it becomes an all or nothing kind of process, that they are either in our lives or out of our lives. And the healthier approach is to look at those orbits, keep everyone in our life, because we need that support no matter at what level, and to be able to move people back and forth on these orbits so that we can sustain our level of trust and intimacy with the people at all levels.